It's my pleasure to introduce our 2018 School of Medicine commencement class speaker, Mr. Zachary Ashmore. Go ahead, you can use it. Mr. Ashmore was selected by his class to deliver this address. Mr. Ashmore received his Bachelor of Business Administration from Baylor University in Waco, Texas. His honors include the annual John R. Calvary Award for Excellence in Neurology, Best Poster in Family Medicine, Patient-Centered Medical Home, Best Poster in Public Health, Bailey R. Collins Scholarship, the UTMB School of Medicine Class of 1952 Golden Anniversary Endowed Scholarship, the Barton Scholarship, and the Doctors Robert and Dorothy Spatz Scholarship. He is a member and president of the Alpha Omega Alpha Medical Honor Society, the Beta Gamma Sigma Business Honor Society, and the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Throughout his time at UTMB, Mr. Ashmore has volunteered for organizations such as the Craig Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation Clinic and the Coastal Community Church, where he was invited to speak to the youth group. Mr. Ashmore led tutor sessions for all first-year medical classes and facilitated small groups for the summer prep program for incoming medical students. Mr. Ashmore will be continuing his medical education at Grand Strand Medical Center in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for his internship, followed by a residency in physical medicine and rehabilitation at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. He will also come back to UTMB when he finishes, like he promised me yesterday, and help us on faculty. Please join me in welcoming this exemplary student, Mr. Zachary Ashmore.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Dr. Mouton. We all really appreciate your oversight of our class this last year as well. I want to spend some time just thanking everyone who has gone into making today possible for all of us. There are so many of you, and I think it's just a great opportunity to honor you. Thank you so much to Dr. Callender, Dr. Jacobs, and the rest of the administration. We value you very much. Thank you to my family, my wife Caitlin, my daughter Annabelle, my parents, grandparents, in-laws, and the families of all the graduates here today. Thank you to my mentors, Dr. Serpina, Dr. Jupiter, as well as many other mentors who are here, and the mentors of all of my classmates. We have a talented and a supportive faculty, and by that we have been very blessed. Thank you to so many others that I haven't been able to list today. You've all walked alongside of us these past years, and that has been truly meaningful for us. Well, I'm so glad to be standing before you all. My heart is full, and I'm really looking forward to being able to share some of my reflections with you. My classmates, thank you for honoring me by choosing me as your speaker. It really means a lot, and I want to spend some time honoring you all as well. I've been encouraged by you as we've gone through 4 years of triumphs and trials together. You have built character in me, and you have built character in one another. Some of you have demonstrated qualities of love, joy, peace, and patience that have been deeply impactful. And my hope is that everyone here can get some opportunity to be able to know some more of you all. So I'm going to share some things with them. When we first moved to the island, I've seen you help one another move each other in before you knew each other at all. I've seen you put on a smile in the anatomy lab for the 8th week straight when you didn't want to be there. I've seen you make surprised baked goods for each other just to make someone feel cared for. They were delicious, thank you. I've seen you form deep friendships with one another when you could have harbored competitive spirits instead. Thank you for your friendship. You've opened up your homes to one another. You've encouraged me in my identity when I tried to find it in a 3-digit number. You've surrounded each other in love and in support during the times of sickness and loss of loved ones. You have been there for the birth of each other's children, including my own daughter. Thank you for that. You've spent time running clinics for the destitute. You've sat beside patients with delusions of being Jesus just to befriend them and to love them. You've sat beside patients as they take their dying breath when they had no one else to be there for them. Patients who would have died somewhere in a hospital room alone in Jenny Seeley because they didn't have anyone who either knew that they were there or cared enough to be there. But you were there, and you did it in your free time. You've blessed them. I've seen you bring children into the world as they cry for the first time. I've seen you heartbroken over a young woman claimed by cancer. That was hard. I've seen you start chest compressions on a dying patient for the first time when it was the last thing that you wanted, but the only thing that you could do. I admire these things in you. I am thankful to have spent these years with you. At the root of everything that I've mentioned is a care and a compassion for humanity. You love each other and you love your patients. I don't mean to say that we've done that perfectly, but since we've come here, we have made that our goal and our purpose. And when we were all applying to medical school, in response to the question, why do you want to be a doctor? We all answered somewhere along the lines of, I care for people, or I want to help people, or maybe even, I've been given these talents and abilities, and I want to use them for something beyond myself. All the while, we had a conception of what it meant to care for patients, a conception of what it means to practice medicine, but we did not know what that looked like in reality. We had an ideal of what we wanted to accomplish, but we did not know how to do that. Now, we have understood what it means to care for humanity, and it has been so much more difficult than we originally thought. There have been great challenges, and the burdens on our minds, our bodies, and emotions have been real. There is a responsibility in situations that at times we feel are beyond us, and maybe we have to make decisions that we don't feel ready for, and it moves us. Can't we all remember a particular patient or a time that has changed the way that we think and feel from that moment onward? A sense of gravity is in the room every time that a patient's life is on the brink of change. There is a palpable tension that is present when you tell a woman that she has a misplaced pregnancy in her abdomen, that it ruptured, that it's bleeding, and without emergency surgery, she will die. All we can do is apply the scientific knowledge that we have gained, extend a healing hand, and at the end of the day, give up control. We are not gods. We are beggars of days. And the practice of medicine is a pleading that we might increase the quality and the quantity of those days and hopefully change that palpable tension into a healing atmosphere. Such an endeavor does lead to stresses on us, and it is no wonder that burnout is a popular topic in medicine and in the halls of UTMB today. Moving forward, we have to be aware of the tempting call of burnout because it will not become easier. I think one of the things that will be important in resisting it, and we should resist it, is to ask ourselves the question, why? Why did we want to be physicians in the first place? And why are our patients valuable? Here, Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones can help us. Dr. Martin Lloyd-Jones, a member of the Royal College of Physicians in the early 1900s, once said to a group of medical students, "Somewhere in Pembrokeshire, a tombstone is said to bear the inscription, 'John Jones, born a man, died a grocer.' There are many whom I have had the privilege of meeting, whose tombstone might well bear the grim epitaph, 'Born a man, died a doctor.' The greatest danger which confronts the medical person is that he may become lost in his profession." I love that quote, not because it's just a joyful quote, because it's one that makes us think and reflect on what it is that we do. There is wisdom in these words. there's danger of losing the patient in the doctor, and there's danger of losing what it means to be a doctor in the title. Remembering the value of those that we serve will not become easier as we go on. Sleepless nights and countless calls will surely push us to our limits. And opportunities to become embittered during our work will only multiply if we don't resist them. Therefore, we should be purposeful and intentional about valuing our patients, the patients without whom we would be out of work. The lives of those that we care for carries a value that is great. What makes entering into this profession valuable or meaningful? The answer is not in the knowledge that we have accumulated, although it is amazing. It is not in scientific acclaim or in prestige. It is not in the money that we make or in our lifestyle. The answer is in the people that we try to heal. The people who are valuable because God created them in his likeness. And he loved all people so that he sent his son, King Jesus, to die for their imperfections so that we might live the lives that we were intended. But whether or not you believe this, we must all reflect upon the question of the value of our patients because we recognize in them an enormous value. The tangible gains of being a physician don't do it. We have to get to the root of what we do. Therefore, our future endeavors should drive forward not from the motivation of doing great things for ourselves, but from the realization that human life is worth it. Worth the effort to serve and love all those in whom we see incomprehensibly great value. This is what we should remember about our patients. This is what we should remember about each other. Remember it as you go on from here. And I know that all of you will continue to do the amazing and deeply moving things that I've mentioned earlier, and even more than that. I'm really looking forward to hearing about those things and continuing to have a relationship with you. I really am joyful to celebrate with you as we go on from here, but it's also with sorrow that I say goodbye. And I'm so grateful for everyone who is standing here with us to celebrate as well. I wish you all the very best.